session with the rest of the no-minded. Hitler was a friend and then came the death toll a million.
You're listening to MMA Fight Radio with our host, Jay the Big J Boski Pagliaro, along with co-host Sean Dallas Hall. Produced by Penny Buffington. MMA Fight Radio is sponsored by Nationwide Auto Warranties, covering any make, model, or mileage vehicle. And now, here's our show with Jay and Dallas.
It's always sunny in Phoenix, Arizona. It's always sunny here at True Story Studios. It's MMA Fight Radio here again at Studio 1A, True Story Studios, Tempe, a.k.a. Phoenix, Arizona. I am your host, the one and only Steve Stifler of radio, the Big J Boski. Joining me, as always, is my tag team partner, the man of three letters, S-D-H, Sean Dallas Hall. What's going on, my brother?
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, man. I'm good.
Always
I'm chilling. Got the puppy dog with me today. We're doing good things.
Hey, you
doing
got
big things.
The official mascot of MMA Fight
mascot.
Radio, Teddy. The what kind of pooch is Teddy there?
That's a Maltese Pomeranian. Real men have those.
What about the other dog?
Yeah, and actually, our Grand Master of Ceremonies of here at True Story Studio, the man, the myth, the legend, Michael Colvin, actually has a nice little pug in there that I've quickly bonded with. But Cappy, and of course we got the newly minted. What is he? The technical director, the program assistant, the production assistant. Production assistant, Carlos Ortiz.
Something special. Something super special.
You know, Carlos, last I saw you, my hometown Pittsburgh Pirates were getting taken out behind a woodshed by the Diamondbacks. We don't go yesterday, and the Pirates win.
And now Diamondbacks killed him today, and I missed the game. I'm like...
By the way, this is such a dedicated individual he is. This guy loses his phone in an Uber and still manages to get it and be here on time.
Nice.
That's why he's the technical director or the program.
So, you lose your phone and get it back, but yet my buddy lost his weed pen. He couldn't get that back. I wonder why.
The Big J Boski lost his mind, and he ain't never got that back.
Well, that's for sure, Jay. We already knew that. The viewers who've been viewing already know that, for sure.
Forget the viewers, man. If you've known me for 15 minutes, you know that. But, hey, I'm going to tell you somebody that did lose their mind, and that was the viewing audience that had the opportunity to watch UFC 237. We now have a new 115-pound women's champion. It is Jessica Andrade. We're going to break that fight down. Specifically the slam. Sean Dallas Hall is the technical wizard that can break all this down. We're going to break that down here in a few minutes. But before we do that, though, some of the other things we're going to talk about here, man, when is enough for these fighters? We're going to break that down specifically with two. We're going to break down the other facets, avenues, fun stuff at UFC 237 that just took place in Brazil. We get to see a 145-pound title fight that has some controversy to it. We're going to talk about that. We get to see, recap Bellator, a USADA violation that we're going to possibly talk about. And we may even break down the NBA playoffs here. I know Michael Colvin and I were having quite the debate.
All about that.
I'm about Zion.
I'm about that. We'll talk. If we got a few minutes, we'll talk about Zion and New Orleans Pelicans and all that fun jazz. But
let's get into the slam because I think it's a big deal. People are making a big deal about it on the net.
We will talk about that in just a few moments. We'll get to that. That'll be topic number one, our lead story of the program.
Sure.
But guess we are slated, folks, to have Charles Bennett joining us here on the show at about 6:15. I do want to give you guys a heads up, man. If you've ever paid attention to Charles Bennett, under his many incarnations, he is a very outspoken, very opinionated individual. And if you think the Big J Boski slips of the tongue, this guy makes me look like a choir boy in St. Francis of Assisi when it comes to vulgarity.
So if you're not, this is parental advisory only for him, for sure.
The views and opinions that Charles Bennett may express and the words that he may say are not necessarily those of Dallas Hall, of myself, of Carlos Ortiz, Michael Colvin, or any other cast members of MMA Fight Radio. So, again, that is a parental advisory, as Dallas said. What comes out of his mouth, I can't control. I don't necessarily agree with some of the words he uses, but, creative freedom, that's the joy of being on a non-terrestrial radio show, is we can allow these people to have that creative freedom, even if they use words we don't agree with.
And fast forward at Mom when you listen to this.
Yes, Mom, please.
And we should allow them to speak freely, right? So
absolutely. But let's speak freely here, Dallas.
We had Neil Magny.
We also are supposed to have Neil Magny. Now, that is set up. That is set in stone. If Neil decides not to come on because there is some controversy going on with him and he may not want to talk about it.
Choice.
That is his choice. But Neil has graciously agreed to come on and discuss all this with us, so we will find out. That is supposed to take place here at about 6:30. And, of course, let's go ahead and talk about our guest studio. I call him Loudon Swain.
I know. And don't do it when he's in here, please, because he don't like it. But, hey, my buddy, my first client ever back in the day over 10 years ago when I first started in this business as a manager, Mr. Danny Hilton, fighting for the WFF World Championship in Prescott, Arizona against Randy Yellowhair. He'll be in studio today. Fantastic individual, great friend of mine. I'm happy that he's going to be here.
I'm quite fond of Danny myself. He's a good friend of mine, even
Good
though I
dude.
call him loud and swing. That is a high compliment, though. That is a high compliment because he resembles Matthew Modine back in the day.
Well, just bring it up when he comes in and see what happens.
Is he related to those famous boxers in Canada? The Hiltons? Hilton brothers?
No.
No, the Hilton brothers are a little
dark?
little darker skinned. Yeah, it's nice as I could put it.
these are
A
white-
little dark?
No, these are
Danny's
white
a
guys
little-
from Canada.
Oh, I
Oh,
don't
the
know.
Hiltons. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't
No,
think
but
he-
I don't think so.
I don't think he's related to the Hilton family either. That like
No,
Paris
not
and-
Paris.
Not those ones.
Not Paris. He
These are
doesn't own
champion
any
boxers.
casinos or hotels.
If he does, he's not sharing the business with
He
us.
surely ain't sharing it with me. I'll tell you that much.
Well, let's talk about sharing business. And Jessica Andrade shared some business with Rose Namajunas. A big victory for her. She is now the new UFC 115-pound women's champion. I'm going to let you break down the slam, Dallas, but I know Rose, since then, has talked about possibly walking away from the sport. She doesn't know what her next step is. Dallas, I'm going to give you your shot here. I want you to break down this slam and the tech.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
But to me, I don't think Rose needs to walk away because this woman, she's been very, very...
Hold on one second. Your microphone.
Okay, we're having a little bit of tech. So, Dallas,
good.
while
Yep.
this is working on, I think
It's
I may
good
be
now.
going out. Okay, it's good now?
Yep.
All right. Am I good?
Yeah, I can hear him
You
now.
hear good now. It was just for like a couple seconds.
For a millisecond.
Yeah,
All right, the
uh,
power of live radio, ladies and gentlemen. Well, our great host with the most,
shut
Michael
it off.
Colvin, is talking about fixing our microphone up to make us sound good. I don't think Rose needs to walk away,
You
Dallas.
shut it off. Didn't you shut it off? Oh, shit. My bad.
Because
Look at that.
I don't think
On the fly moving. Sorry,
on the
my
fly.
bad.
I don't think Rose needs to walk away. I think she, number one, she's been
personal.
a great champion. She looked very good in that fight before the slam. I think there's plenty of gas left in her tank.
Oh, yeah.
I think that she's got plenty left. But when you lose a fight like that, Rose is a very emotional human being. She's she wears her emotions on her sleeve. So I certainly could see her taking some time off. And I know Danny's trained with her. We'll talk to him
Yeah,
about
Danny
that a
will
little bit
have
more.
actually has a great input on this. Danny knows her pretty
She's really
well.
nice.
He's trained with her several times. And my input on this is look, I don't think she's retiring. I think that's a big word. I think she's just going to take some time off because she's been very very upfront with us by letting us know that it's very difficult to be the UFC champion.
Yep.
Right? I mean, that's a very difficult thing. There's a lot of pressure. A lot of things come with it that maybe you don't want, or maybe your life becomes more difficult. And she's a very simplistic, laid back individual, and it was a lot of pressure for her. And I think she's happy that pressure is finally over.
Yep.
I mean, even though she's probably sad that she lost, sure, right? I mean, she wanted to win. Everybody wants to win their competitors, but at the end of the day, I think, man, I think that pressure off her shoulders is fantastic for her.
And let me follow it up by saying, and I mean this in the nicest possible way here, not only are you a champion, which comes with a whole lot of pressure, but you're a female champion that follows the shadow of Ronda Rousey, where everybody has their own expectations of what a women's fight. They have their own expectations of what a women's fighter should be, never mind a women's champion. And that's not a knock, but look, we live in a world where everybody looks at you in a certain way.
Sure.
And Rose, I mean, she checks a lot of those boxes, and she had a lot of pressure under her belt. Not only was that, but she was following a pretty dominant champion, Johanna champion, and I mean, So.
And look, even Johanna even texted her or sent her the tweet,
Yeah, that
which
was
was
real good.
fantastic.
Yeah. Oh,
And I don't know it word for word. If you want to check it out, I'm sure you can just look on Johanna's thing and it'll be up there. And it was a very heartfelt text, and it
Yep.
was good, or tweet, and it was good. I mean, I think
Straight from the heart.
I think Rose is going to be happy with it. I think Rose will eventually come back and be champion again, right? But I think the next time that she's champion, she'll understand the pressures and be able to handle that a little bit better than maybe she did in the beginning.
100%. And hey, let's talk about the slam heard around the world.
Yeah.
And that, to me, that's been the point of contention here with a lot of MMA fans, Dallas, is that some people, dare I say, were questioning the legality of it. They were questioning the mannerism of it. I'm going to let you break it down. You're very technically suave. What are your thoughts on that?
The first
slam?
thing I'm going to do is I'm going to read the rule word for word for everyone, so they understand the rule of what considered a spike is. Okay. Any motion with an arc to its motion can be considered a legal throw. It does not matter if the opponent's head hits the canvas. A pile driver is considered to be any throw where you control the opponent's body. So you have to have full control of their body, okay, number one. And their feet have to be straight up, and their head has to be straight down, okay? If you're in an attempt of a submission, right, and you're holding the submission, you have the choice to let go of the submission. If you don't, and you get slammed on your head, that's not the other person's fault. That's your fault because you were holding the submission, right?
Right.
So it says it should be noted when a fighter is placed into the submission hold by their opponent, if that fighter is capable of elevating their opponent, they may bring that opponent down in any fashion they desire because they are not in control of their opponent's body. And so that's what the thing is. So when you look at it, there was one thing that I can see that was a little bit outside this rule, okay? And a lot of people probably didn't catch it. So she had the Kimura grip in, right? She had it in. And then when Andrade picked her up, she cupped her hands, okay? She cupped Rose's hands, and she held them there. So Rose may or may not have been able to let go of that. I don't know. To me, it seemed like she didn't want to let go of it, but she may not have. But anyway around it, she still was not 12-6 feet high, head low, slammed straight down. She was not pile drived or tombstoned or anything of the sort, right? Right. That's what you have to think about, right? I mean, that's okay. He has no control. Guy shoots a double leg on me, right? And I grab him and I pick him up and I hold his feet straight in the air and his head's down and I fall backwards. Boom.
I was thinking of Frank Shamrock Zanovi back in the day.
Frank Shamrock. Remember when Nate Marquardt fought Joe Dirksen in his UFC very early in his UFC career? He had a very similar, but still not illegal.
I was about to say,
it wasn't illegal. I mean, it was completely legal then. It's legal now. And Dallas, real quick, if you could, those guidelines you read, where were they based off of?
Well, those are based off the rules, the ABC rules.
ABC, thank you. Just want to get the clarification on where you can find those.
The Unified Rules of Mixed Martial Arts. Yeah, so you can see those on the Unified Rules of Mixed Martial Arts. Anybody who fights, I urge you, if you are a fighter, even if you are a fight fan, to read the rules. So that way, and even throughout the ABC Unified Rules, they will even tell you judges' criterias. They'll tell you everything. So that way you can have a better understanding of what is going on and why people make the decisions they do. And I do have to give a little shout out to Mark Goddard. Mark Goddard, fantastic job on not being swayed or not calling that a foul. I know you know it's not a foul, right? I know you know the rules better than anybody. I know you don't know it's not a foul. And look, he's been getting a lot of grief on the internet from here.
Big John explained it perfectly, and he said it was perfectly legal. He wrote a whole post about it. So
yeah, I mean, as long as they're in somewhat control of their body, it can't be considered, a spike.
No.
So I mean, think Rampage and Pride, right? Or what was his name? I can't remember.
How about Kevin Randleman's and Fedor? I mean, that's the number one suplex I think of that.
Right. So you think about that, and those are still all legal things because they're not picking somebody up and holding them and taking them exactly where they're in uncontrol of their body and slamming them on the top of their head.
It's not folk style wrestling where you gotta put them down gently. It's like freestyle Greco and slam them.
And listen, not every stoppage is the right one. We saw a fight last weekend, Dallas. We'll probably get the chance to talk about later on in the show that you can certainly say, okay, that was a little bit off. But to me, Mark Goddard's a good referee, and I know that he's got his detractors online.
In my opinion, the best.
I think he's definitely top three. I think him and Herb Dean are 1 and 1A. I think you can't go wrong with either. But Mark, if he said it was legal, he's refereed thousands of matches, Dallas, and he's pretty damn good at what he does, And if he says that she was dropped properly, then she was dropped properly, and I can't argue it.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, I think a lot of people just don't understand that rule, or maybe they have never even heard that rule, or if they're fighters, they should have heard that rule. I mean, because it's explained in the rules meetings of every fight. Right, so even Rose herself didn't complain about it because she knows that it was legal. I mean, it's explained in the rules meeting what a spike is. So
we've got about 2 minutes left. That is the ultimate telling sign right there. The fact that Rose herself has not complained about this, and believe me, Rose is an outspoken woman. If this was a bad stoppage, I have a feeling Rose would have been the first person to say, I don't agree with that. And she's not a malcontent when I say that. She's not one of these ones that B for BS, if you follow what I'm saying. But I think the fact that she came out and said it was proper, it was legal, I have no fault with it, that says all you need to know. If she's not pissed off and angry and animated over it, then I think the audience, and she'll live to see another day.
I mean, look, her coaches. She has one of the most experienced coaches. God, I can't even speak today. Experienced coach in the world. Yeah. You know, Trevor Whitman and Pat Barry's in her corner. I mean, none of them complained about this because they all understand that it's illegal. It's a legal technique. So, yeah.
Hey, it was clean.
It was clean.
That's what she said.
Charles is.
It was clean. Yeah. Charles is ready?
Charles is ready. All right, well, I know who else is ready is our next guest. And when we come back, folks, we're going to have two great guests in store for you. Joining us in studio is a man that Dallas Hall and I both are very fond of. Has a big fight coming up in his own stomping grounds of Prescott, Arizona. Danny Vision Quest Hilton. There's my loud and Swain mention for the show. Danny Hilton will be joining us here in studio. And we've also got the controversial, never shy to say his opinion, Charles Bennett joining us. And again, folks,
Felony in the house.
Felony in the house. And once again, a quick reminder, and I'll say this before we come back, anything that he says is not necessarily the views of Dallas Hall, Penny Buffington, Carlos Ortiz, Michael Colvin, Wayne Craig, myself, or our subsidiaries that follow our show. Hey, we're going to get plenty of mind speed coming up next here on MMA Fight Radio.
Don't get stuck with expensive auto repairs. Get an extended warranty for your used vehicle today. Call 623-935-7988. That's 623-935-7988. Call now.
It's a new year and we are bringing it. The Cultural Fitness and Fashion Expo is back. Bigger, better, and stronger for 2019. The Cultural and Fitness and Fashion Expo's goal was to create an event to bring together and feature the many different aspects of fitness. And we have done just that, including but not limited to bodybuilding, CrossFit, MMA, powerlifting, Olympic weightlifting, street calisthenics, supplements, and fashion. Our expo features a wide variety of unique events along with over 200 vendor booths. To hear more about this amazing event, go to www.thecultureffe.com. If you're a local business owner, reserve your booth now. That's www.thecultureffe.com.
If you smell what the Rock is cooking. The Rock says,
Does it make, all right, my doctor, I went and seen the doctor today, right? But I think he's Indian, you know? So he looks black. So would it be racist if my doctor gave me the okay, you know what I'm saying? Like a cool-ass doctor, like, hey, okay, my nigga, you can go out and knock
Charles,
niggas' heads off.
you do you, brother. You do you.
What,
you
really want to know?
You missing the whole story, nigga.
You want to know? Do you really want to know what I think?
Yeah, what would you think?
I think it. No, I don't think it's okay.
No, well, I think it is, because the nigga is black. Like,
they are very dark. Let's go ahead and get this rolling, Michael. I'll do the introduction, and we'll get this party started.
Very dark and ugly black guys.
He's
okay,
dark.
But tell me what two colors we have in this world, then. Tell me that.
There's many shades of colors in this world, bro.
No, nigga. There's no many shades of colors, nigga. It's two colors, nigga. Black and white. Let me break this down for you, right?
Break it down for me, bro. Break it down.
Black and white in the world. That's the only colors we have, black and white, right? So if seen me,
I already disagree with your statement.
No, nigga, listen to the goddamn story. It makes plenty of sense. And y'all want to say I'm crazy. But if you seen me shoot a white person 100 yards away, right? And I say me shoot a white person because I ain't trying to die. So if you see me shoot a white person 100 yards away, which is the length of a football field, you don't know what the fuck I am, and you don't know what the fuck he is. You know what I mean? So with that being said, by the time you get up on this guy and see what he is, he's a goddamn Asian. but he looks white from 100 yards away, right?
Okay. I mean, if you're gonna do the
Oh,
100,
that makes
if it's
plenty
based,
of sense, right?
if you're basing life
Yeah,
on a 100-yard theory,
yeah,
then
that
sure.
makes plenty of
They're all the same color
That's
when the lights are
goddamn
turned
Asian.
off, bro.
I ain't kill a white man. I killed the goddamn Asian, and y'all label him white.
Does that? But does that make that? Does it make it any better?
No, what I'm saying is, niggas only two colors in the world, motherfucker.
At
That's
100
what I'm
yards?
getting at.
What about when the
yellow.
all right, what about when the lights are
Asians
out?
are yellow.
What about when the lights are out?
When the lights are out?
Yeah.
Well,
Does that,
shit.
does that same
That's why
apply?
they don't like niggas. When the lights are out, you don't see no niggas. That's why
Charles
they kill
Bennett,
niggas.
ladies and gentlemen.
The lights
Charles
go
Bennett.
out, now you gotta kill the nigga, cause shit, I don't know what that nigga intentions on. And you know, black is bad. Look at Spider-Man. When he became a black Spider-Man, he was a fucking evil guy. So they say. I'm just saying, man. How y'all niggas doing today?
I'm
How,
good.
how you doing there, bro?
I agree with you in the fact that that shouldn't be true. I don't. Is that what you're trying to say? That shouldn't be true? It shouldn't be that white on white is black. And it shouldn't be black and white. Is that what you're trying to say? Because if you're trying to say that, I agree.
I agree 100%.
What I'm saying is, in America, around the world, that's what the colors are, black or white. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know what you're dealing with until you get facing up on it. But if it's 100 yards away, you don't know what he is.
Sure, 100 yards
So when you
away,
do that
especially if it maybe the lighting situation, you never really know.
Nah, ain't no lighting situation. There's no way around.
The sun's
100
flashing
yards
down.
away, nigga. If I see a man 100 yards away, I won't know if that nigga's a Puerto Rican or a goddamn Jamaican.
I mean, there's a big difference between a Puerto Rican and a Jamaican.
What about the Italians?
real Indian, because you know Indians are black too. So
Oh, yeah,
you
that's
know,
some
I
dark
won't know
ones.
none of that until I see this nigga in the face. You know what I'm saying? Then it's like, oh, nigga, you're an Indian.
They got some
No,
light-skinned
fuck that.
Indians, too.
You black.
Well, if your point is that it shouldn't matter what color anybody is, I agree with you. I agree with you.
No, man.
If not, I
Colors,
don't.
nigga.
Welcome to MMA
I
Fight
know what
Radio,
you're
ladies
saying.
and gentlemen.
Welcome to MMA
I
Fight
agree with what
Radio,
you're saying.
Mr. Bennett.
We got Mr. Charles Bennett joining us here on the show, and already we are off
That's
to a.
felony Charles Bennett. Hold on, let me correct you, nigga. That's felony Charles
That's right.
Bennett.
My correction.
Even if you Mr. Charles Bennett, we're going to say felony Charles Bennett because if you go and look up Charles Bennett, then y'all got to worry about y'all niggas. Oh, that's crazy horse. No, fuck you. Blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean?
That's
so
right,
we're gonna
folks.
say
It's
felony Charles Bennett, so it's like,
Okay.
Felony Charles Bennett, ladies and gentlemen. Felony. The one and only felony Charles Bennett.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. And all these other niggas are just copycats.
What about Mr.
I'm
Bean?
telling you, man.
Mr. Bean.
So
So let's talk
you
to.
just had a fight. You just had a fight. What last week or 2
No,
weeks
nigga,
ago?
I ain't just had a fight no last week. Now, if y'all want to be lying and
What was
that's
it? A couple
something I
months
can't
ago?
do.
How about Bare Knuckles FC 2, fella, where you broke your hand before the fight?
Oh no, I broke my. Listen, okay, this is how it goes, right? I broke my hand last April, but I'm such a fucking gangster that I was like, and it was hurting and shit, and I was like, yeah, whatever. So I was still fighting and trying to train with it, and then after a while, it was like, nigga, fuck you, and we're really fucking with you now. We're gonna fuck with your whole body because you're stupid and you ain't went and did shit about this finger. So when I did decide to go do something about the finger, they were like, oh my God, Mr. Bennett, you're still alive? You must have some Wolverine nigga blood in you. Because looks like an infection and got into the bone of your finger. You could die from that.
So what
So
happened?
yeah, and then from that point, this was in January, guys. And
You said
shit
April.
Didn't really take to March of this year. That's how fucking gangster I am.
You are definitely
So, yeah.
you are definitely gangster. That's for sure. That's for sure. You're definitely gangster.
So
Well, at the time, I didn't have insurance.
So what? After your fight, you got in a little bit of a heated exchange with somebody. Can you comment on that?
Oh, which fighter was that?
You don't remember his name?
Candy Lady? You talking about Candy Lady?
No, after your last fight.
Oh, you're not talking about Coho, are you? Coho Covington.
Yeah, Colby Covington. Is his name.
chaos.
Oh, cold hold.
Yeah.
That's a cold hold there. Put a nigga in jail.
So what? I mean, I know they didn't have the cameras on.
But see, here's the thing, right? I guess cold hold had a problem with my nigga Platinum Perry, that's 2% nigger, and he was talking shit about Ocala, Florida. Well, I'm from the small city of Ocala, Florida, and I feel like the UFC has not paid any attention. You know what I'm saying? Even though they want to use my image on Fight Pass and such, and a nigga still broke over here. You know what I'm saying? Living in a trailer that fucking gets 102 degrees at 11:30 in the morning. Wake up looking like a rotisserie steak sweating over there. But hey, that's neither here or there. Fuck them niggas. But yeah, so with that being said, I forgot what we was talking about.
Colby Covington.
I forgot too.
Oh, Coho, yeah. So
Cold Ho.
that
You
being
said
said-
Cold Ho Covington. Cold Ho Covington.
Yeah, Coho Covington. Yeah, that's him. Yeah, so with that being said, he was talking about, you know, we got a lot of faggots in Ocala and all this stuff here, so I had to let this nigga know, like, nigga, we don't have what you said that we have up here. We actually have some killers and for real niggas. Watch your mouth, bitch. Unfortunately, he didn't get it until he met the face.
So you had to slap.
So it wasn't no plot or anything like that. Nah. It's just, you know, I'm from Ocala, and we got fight fans in Ocala too, and I don't see the UFC bringing any of their fuck-ass fighters to Ocala to, you know what I'm saying, to say, hey, well, you know, we know y'all a little city, and Felony Charles Bennett has done a lot for the goddamn sport that we're trying to overlook, because you got motherfuckers doing backflip off the cage. I started it. You got motherfuckers doing leaping knockouts. I started it. I don't know, man.
I do want to comment. I do want to comment. At your last fight, they had porn stars as the ring girls. Yes. And during while you guys were getting your hand raised, one of them kind of made a gesture towards your region. And what was up with that?
What? My what?
She grabbed your dick, is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, I seen that.
You seen it, but you didn't feel it? What, does she have crocodile hands, bro, or
I had to
what?
go look at the tape. Because I looked down and told her that there's nothing there but a cup, man.
That's what I wanted to know. I just wanted to know the conversation that went on between that.
All right, Charles, we got about a minute to go, man. If you could, let us know your GoFundMe. I hear you got a GoFundMe going to try to get some medical costs recouped from the near-fatal accident that you had, the near-fatal injury.
Oh, well, that was my finger. So if you niggas want to donate some money, I'm still in rehab. A lot of these niggas don't respect the gangster. But you got to respect it, because I'll be training at Fusion XL within the next week or so full time. Now that the doctor has gave me the green light about my finger, so fuck them niggas, and fuck them niggas that think they can come out here and do all this talking, because I'm the original Dundada of this shit. Shit talking is what I do, backing it up. I ain't been doing that lately. I've been smoking dope.
All right, well, certainly enjoy that smoking dope, brother. We got to get running to our commercial break, but it's been Felony Charles Bennett, folks. Thank you for joining us.
Appreciate you, bro.
All right, guys.
Thanks.
Felony Charles Bennett, ladies and gentlemen. No, that was just about.
Wow.
That was about.
Mom, I'm sorry about that one.
Mom, I'm sorry if you're watching this. Anybody, like I said.
Danny was sitting over his head like, oh my God, I can't believe I came on the show.
Like I said at the beginning, the views and opinions and comments expressed by Mr. Charles Felony Bennett are not necessarily any of the ones we share here in the studio. But
Dude, I like him.
Hey, you know what?
He's entertaining. I love watching him. Back in the day, he's one of my favorite fighters to watch. So.
Real honest guy.
That was interesting, Michael, huh?
Entertaining and frightening.
Yeah.
You gotta watch his highlights.
Interesting guy. Is Neil on?
Interesting guy, but we got to catch a break here real
We're
quick.
gonna hit the break with Neil on.
When we come back, we're slated to have Neil Magny join us. He certainly got some. It's going to be a little bit more PG rated with Neil, but I don't think it's possible to be any less PG. Neil's going to talk to us about some interesting stuff that's going on in MMA. You're listening to MMA Fight Radio.
stuck with expensive auto repairs, get an extended warranty for your used vehicle today. Call 623-935-7988. That's 623-935-7988.
Call now.
It's a new year and we are bringing it. The Cultural Fitness in Fashion Expo is back. Bigger, better, and stronger for 2019. The Cultural and Fitness in Fashion Expo's goal was to create an event to bring together and feature the many different aspects of fitness. And we have done just that, including but not limited to bodybuilding, CrossFit, MMA, powerlifting, Olympic weightlifting, street calisthenics, supplements, and fashion. Our expo features a wide variety of unique events along with over 200 vendor booths. To hear more about this amazing event, go to www.thecultureffe.com. If you're a local business owner, reserve your booth now. That's www.thecultureffe.com.
Skills.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was interesting. That was interesting. And as I said, Charles Bennett's the type of human being that, you know, it's not his spiel, like I said about the Big J Boski spiel, it's not for everybody. And if you're watching this on delay, if you're bothered by extreme vulgarity and something that sounds like Eddie Murphy back in his day, or who was the other great comedies?
Richard Pryor.
Richard Pryor, that's what I was thinking of. If you're offended by Richard Pryor, you may want to fast forward through that interview. But those of you that enjoy that humor,
Earthquake,
it was unique.
Earthquake.
It was unique.
I respect him a lot, man. He's honest. He tells it how it is. He don't change for anybody.
He is an OG. He is an OG. That's, you know, he doesn't buck away from, you know, who he is. He doesn't pretend to be something he's not. And there's a refreshing factor of that. In the world where everybody wants to be somebody else, Charles Bennett doesn't give an F.
Especially
is who he
in the
is.
fight world.
For real.
No doubt.
Yeah.
I could talk stories about people in the fight world that are wannabes.
Let's
let's talk about somebody that's not a wannabe, that's not a pretender, that's not afraid to be who he is. And that's our next guest. This guy has fought a who's who in MMA. Got a big one coming up in Prescott for the main event of the WFF here. Again, gets to fight in his hometown again.
Randy Yellowhair.
He is.
That's what it's looking like, yeah.
He is a man that's on a vision quest. Danny Hilton joins us here on the show. Had to do it once.
Doing good. How are you guys?
Good, brother. How you been, man?
Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was fun.
Well,
nice drive here, like always.
Yeah, it's probably a little hotter down here than it is for.
Holy shit, yeah.
Way hotter, right? What are you at,
How long a drive
75
was it
up
for
there,
you?
80?
Yeah, we're like 75, 80.
So you're in the middle of a weight cut.
This
You
is-
probably cut 15 pounds
No,
and
he's
driving
got
down
time.
to this beast.
He's
You know?
got time.
I'm
He's
not
got
cutting.
time.
No, I don't even really cut weight anyway. Like I walk around like 162, and then so 55. I take a
Easy
crap
money.
that week.
Take a crap, you wipe, and you flush, and you're down to your normal
Yeah,
walking weight.
pretty much all I have to do is water load. As long as I'm eating normal and training normal, I just water load.
Here's something a lot of people don't understand. What is water loading?
Water loading
I mean,
is
in a simple fashion.
in a simple. Pretty much, you're tricking your body into pissing out your water.
Okay.
In a simple.
And how do you do that?
By overloading your body with water. So, like that Sunday before the fight, say the weigh-in's Friday or Thursday or whatever. So Sunday you would drink 2 gallons, the next day 2 gallons, and then you slowly taper off, and your body still thinks it's getting 2 gallons.
All right, so let me ask you this. They recommend you drink a gallon a day.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, how do you manage to, like, with 2 gallons, I mean, how does that expedite the weight process?
I normally drink like a gallon and a half a day.
Well, when you're training as hard as you do, I mean, you're sweating.
Yeah,
like
you're sweating
crazy.
a lot.
You drink a gallon in one training session.
The only thing that sucks is like at night you piss a lot more.
Right.
You know, you gotta wake up and whatever. But I have a puppy, so I wake up take him out to piss anyway.
One question I had: a lot of people used to, or maybe still do, or do the distilled thing as opposed to is that still with water loading or is
yeah? So you
the
can
same?
switch. Usually that your body doesn't retain that, like the minerals and stuff like that. There's none of that in distilled, so you just flush it out quicker. I never even use the distilled. I don't like it. It makes me feel weird. But
I agree.
But a lot of people do it.
I mean,
bodybuilders do it too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just you can lose more weight that way.
I know
So
wrestlers
then
do it too.
Would you mix? So then would you mix between you mix regular water? So you
No,
get
usually
your
do
water
like
in,
usually do like the
and
first
then
3
do
days.
distilled too?
Usually do like the first 3 days, and then you switch to distilled like the last 2 days.
Okay. And then you just drink nothing.
Nothing but distilled. But by that time, you're only drinking maybe like a half a gallon or like maybe like a liter or something that whole day. So you're not drinking much. So it's like it's as you're tapering off.
We do have Neil getting ready to be on standby here, but before we do that, I know you've had a chance to train with Neil, correct? You have a story with Neil.
Yeah, I lived at the Grudge Fighter House with Neil a few years back. Great guy. Yeah. Like that guy a lot.
We've had a chance to interview him a few times, and he's always very humble. The fact that he's coming on now after what he's been going through. I mean, we've dealt with fighters a lot, Danny, whether it's training with him or me interviewing him, Dallas dealing with. Fighters have their own sets of egos, and after a USADA test, the last thing they want to do is talk to the media.
Oh, for
Neil
sure.
has handled this head on, and he's always been classy and professional, and I'm not surprised.
That's how Neil is. He's a good dude. The last thing he would ever do is dope.
All right, let's go ahead and bring him on. Let's go ahead and bring him on right now, man. I have such appreciation for this gentleman because he is handling this head on, and he's going to get a chance to talk about it. Neil Magny joins us in the show. Neil, thank you for, first of all, from all of us, we can't express enough how thankful we are for you coming on and tackling this topic head on. A lot of fighters in your position would not want to do so.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, thanks for giving me the opportunity just to kind of just go over my side of everything and just kind of just let everyone know what's going on right now and how the situation sits currently.
Hey Neil, so USADA test comes in and it says it's positive, right? So I'm gonna give you your chance to talk about it, but the first question I have is, when is testing too much, right? I mean, at this point, we're almost seeing more false tests than we are them catching people that are actually using, right? So, like for you in your situation, look, I've heard we all know that you're a clean guy, and so when you look at it, you see that you failed that test. I mean, does it almost make you kind of lose faith a little bit in the system, or does it give you more faith, I guess?
No, not at all. I mean, the fact that I'm one of the guys that, I mean, I can't speak for many other people. I can speak for myself. But the fact that I'm one of the guys that kind of is tested pretty often, is pretty open about supplements that I use and that kind of thing, and to have something like this happen, this goes to show how sporadic the supplement industry actually is. I mean, here are some things that are supplements that people are using. They're like saying they're third-party tested. They're verified by certain companies on this other stuff, and there's still things that are showing up as false positives and whatever else it may be. So the fact that I was flagged for a potential violation due to a finding by USADA just kind of shows that no one's being let off the hook. No one's being looked over. No one's being given the benefit of the doubt. Everyone's going under the same kind of testing when it comes to USADA, and no one's safe on that banner as far as treatment goes.
So I mean, I've heard, and look, this could be hearsay. I've heard from other people that you even went as far as to say, "Hey, test my supplements beforehand." Is that true?
No, that's completely false. Okay. The one thing that I do is there's a portion on your USADA test where it asks you to give consent for research purposes using your sample. Oh, okay. That is the one part that I do always actually give consent to. I'm like, hey man, if my sample can help you guys figure out something about people cheating or help the sport stay clean, or even in some lucky case scenario, you can find some kind of medical condition within me by doing research on my samples. By all means, go ahead and use my sample. So I've always been pretty open about letting them do that and just doing as much research as possible with my samples. That's how confident I was as far as the supplements I was using and things like that.
All right, Neil, I'm going to be straightforward here. We live in a social media based world where to these people, despite the fact that you have 20 fights in the UFC, you've got 28, 29 total, you've never once had a positive test for anything. Yet we live in a public perception world where the first time you do, you're immediately labeled. To those people that don't give you the benefit of the doubt and look at the here and now rather than your past, what do you got to say to them to show that, look, I'm not what this says I am?
I mean, I think the fact that I came out publicly with this speaks for itself. I mean, even the responses I was getting on social media thus far following interview and posts that were made, I mean, it just shows the amount of people that I believe in me and believe in that I'm a clean athlete, and I would never do something like this intentionally and that kind of thing. So I think that speaks for itself. I mean, for every negative comment that I've received on social media, there's literally hundreds of positive ones to back it up and disprove the negative comments. So at the end of the day, the facts are the facts, and the facts are the things that are going to set the situation straight. So there's really not much I need to say to those guys. Not much time for me to necessarily waste chasing those guys down and having to address their opinions of me or that kind of thing. The facts are going to come out, and the facts are going to set this whole situation straight.
And the fact that you're dealing with this and you're addressing it with the media head on, I mean, that speaks volumes, because we've seen it in the past, and I'm not throwing names under the bus, but we've seen people that have dodged questions. We've seen people make excuses that they ate tainted kangaroo meat. I mean, we've seen 1,000 different. You faced this head on. You've been refreshing. You've been honest about it. And the fact that you're talking to us today, to me, should be all the justification that these people need.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just as eager as everyone else to get to the bottom of this. I mean, whatever caused this USADA to flag me and this started to show up in my test, I'm just eager to get to the bottom of it. I'm willing to literally open up my doors, have USADA come in, go through whatever they need to go through, go back and test prior. Look at prior tests that I've taken from, go back and look at every single thing that I've done thus far. I mean, I'm that much of an open book right now just to get to the bottom of this, and hopefully it'll all be exposed very soon.
I want to talk to you a little bit about how this has affected you. I mean, look, you're only days away from this fight, right? I mean, you spent money on training camps, you spent money on being places, you spent money on all these different things, and now this comes out, and now you're pulled from the fight. How does that affect you as a fighter, and how would it affect you, like, maybe going forward?
It definitely does affect me as a fighter and as a person. I mean, training camps aren't cheap. There are several things that go into training camp and preparing for a fight. I mean, bringing training partners in, traveling to get different looks, all types of stuff that a fighter has to go through to prepare for a fight and be fight ready. So that stuff definitely does add up cost-wise, and it sucks when you go through that process for 6 to 8 weeks and you're expecting this light at the end of the tunnel, and something that's out of your control necessarily, or something that's out of your control kind of takes that away from you, or something that's completely unexpected. I mean, injuries are almost something that's more likely or more acceptable because it's part of the sport, but something like this is definitely just devastating. It's like man, like I know what I did, I know what I didn't do. So to be flagged by USADA for a potential violation, I mean, that's just that in itself is just definitely alarming. I'm like, literally your whole world stops. Like, what the heck? Like literally up until last Saturday till now, I'm still waiting for someone to be like, hey, we're just kidding, we got you, ha ha ha. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm just in such disbelief that this is actually happening right now. But like I said, I mean, the best I can do is just be open, be honest, and let this process play itself out.
So without having to put all of your personal information out there, I mean, I think a lot of fans don't really understand maybe what the cost of a camp is. You don't have to give us a dollar amount, but I mean, as far as a percentage of, say, what a purse would be, I mean, how much do you pre-spend on a camp, and then something like this happens to where you're not going to get refunded this money, even if you're found innocent, right? You're not going to get refunded this money. So what's the percentage of something like that for a guy like you? I mean, who's at the higher or upper echelon of the UFC?
Yeah, I mean, once you break that top 15, break that top 10, where you're trying to like make a run toward the title, I mean, you take your training a lot more serious. I mean, you want to do all the things possible within the training room to help ensure that you're going to be successful. So you're going to bring in some of the best guys that are going to push you day in and day out, and that gets expensive. I mean, buying flights and covering people's per diem while they're out here training for a couple of days or weeks or whatever it may be, putting them up in hotels while they're out training and helping you out, having to travel to different cities, different countries, different gyms to get different looks, and stay in hotels and things like that abroad as well. That those things add up. So a pretty good chunk of change is dedicated to pre-fight preparations as far as the training camp goes.
Have you heard how long your suspension might be without the protest?
So right now I'm technically not suspended yet. We're still investigating the whole case of how this I mean, what you would even call it, but this product, I don't know, this thing ended up in the sample. So it's still under investigation right now. They're still actively trying to seek out and find answers. There's a long process that USADA has to go through before saying that, hey, this fighter is guilty for cheating. I mean, it's just right now it's a notification of a potential violation, but as things go on, it'll escalate from there, and more definite things will be able to come of it. But right now, it's still pretty early in the findings. They're still gathering information, still gathering the facts, still putting things together before being able to make a solid judgment as far as like what happened or what they believe happened, and where do we go from here.
All right, Neil, we're up against a break, but what I'd like to do is, if we could, I'd like to keep up with this situation. I'd love to have you on. We're back again in 2 weeks. Would you be willing to come back on 2 or 3 or 4 weeks when the smoke clears a little bit and discuss a little bit more about the next steps for you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a process that I'm finding out that a lot of fighters are going through. I won't be the last fighter to go through it. So if I can be as open as possible and help somebody else who's going to be in this situation down the road, then absolutely, I want to be able to do that by getting on you guys' show again. All
right, well, set it up with Penny. We'll get you back on here in a couple of weeks, and I'd love to talk to you again.
We appreciate it, man. We appreciate you coming out, and it takes courage. And I'll tell you, it means a lot to us. It means I think it means a lot to your fans. I think it means a lot to everybody who's listening. And being out in front of it like this, I've always said it for every single athlete who's ever thought or whoever said they were guilty or innocent. Sorry, my bad.
Guilty and innocent.
Who said they were innocent and not guilty? That they should be in front of it, and you're doing it the right way. And we all hope the best for you, man.
Thank you.
Best of luck.
Thank you, Neil.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
You too. U.S. Army vet. I expect no more. I expect no more. Let's go to our next break, though, folks. I want to talk a little bit more about this and start talking to Danny. Plus, we got a lot of topics to blow through here in hour number 2. You're listening to MMA Fight Radio here at True Story Studios.